All right, guys, welcome back. This is week 2 NFL. Super excited. I'm in the office, so I have to be quiet. But as far as who to play wide receivers this week, there's a ton of good options. I'm going to try to sift through them for you and kind of tell you why I want to play one over others. And then I'll add on a ton of GPPs at the end. Check out the comments below, and you'll see a lot of my picks and stuff. A lot of this is tailored for DFS, particularly DraftKings, because I play on there more because of the PPRs and whatnot. But this has a lot to do with injuries. This has a lot to do with matchups and cornerbacks and game scripts and tons of stuff. So my number one running wide receiver this week is Antonio Brown. That's a lock. Big Ben's good to go with his elbow. He plays much better at home. They're still without Bell. Rock and roll, cash, and GPPs lock and load. So I got about 10 or 12 cash game plays this week. I'll list them off for you briefly. Brown, Julio, Odell, Thomas, Allen, Nuke, Sanders, Thielen, Kupp, T.Y., Landry, Agholor, A-Rob on Monday night, Enunwa, and Cobb. That's it. Everybody else is a GPP in my mind. So it's going to be hard to fit all those guys in because there really isn't much cheap besides Cobb and Enunwa. Everybody else is moderate to very expensive. So if you want a top, running back, if you want a decent quarterback, it gets tricky. So Julio, fantastic matchup. He loves the zone. He's going to eat this week. Great stack option with Ryan. He's also just went bananas last week, and I expect him to do more of the same this week. Odell, I think even Eli can manage to screw this up, but I think Odell will come back and have another monster week this week, Sunday Night Football. Michael Thomas, obviously we did last week. I don't think he's going to need to get 16 receptions this week, but obviously he's capable. A very safe option. It's very challenging to do a Breeze, Kamara, Gurley, Thomas, stack, and cash. It's just, I don't think you could do it. So you have to kind of pick and choose. Keenan Allen, I think, is a very safe option this week. We know when he's healthy, he's very, very good. Nice matchup versus the Bills. And I think this is a good slate for him. Nuke has a great game script. I knew that my Patriots were going to shut him down this week. Last week, so I think that they'll work on getting him, and I expect him and Watson to have a great day tomorrow. Emmanuel Sanders, fantastic week. I don't expect it to change. He's in the slot, ready to rock and roll. Start him. Thielen, also in the slot. Cousins likes him there. I think this will be a pretty high-scoring game because Rodgers will be healthy enough to put up points. So he's a good option. Diggs has that boomer bust, but Thielen is safer in my opinion. Cooper Kupp, also the slot receiver there, and a very potent offense. I think he's safe enough to consider rolling the dice on him. T.Y., I think, even though Luck's ADOT is low, I like the Redskins defense. I think Hilton will still get his along with Doyle. Landry somehow managed to catch as many passes as he did last week, even though Tyrod didn't particularly throw the ball well. But I think he's another option this week, and they're going to try to keep up with the Saints, and that's going to be challenging. Agholor, another good option, another slot guy. He's a decent price. Foles has a potentially sneaky week playing Tampa Bay. I don't think they'll need to score as many points as the Saints did last week, but Agholor is a good spot. Ertz is as well. Allen Robinson in Monday Night Football played a ton of snaps coming back from ACL. I like him again this week against the depleted Seahawks defense if you're playing Monday night. Enunwa has another great matchup this week. It's a little harder matchup than last week, but I still think he eats. But Dolphins are garbage. I expect the Jets to win this one. Randall Cobb will have another monster week. He does much better with Rodgers, and I think Rodgers will be healthy enough to play this week. And I think Cobb rocks and rolls. Matt Adams has a hard matchup versus Xavier Rhodes. So and Rhodes sounds like he's good to go. So I'm leaning away from Adams and going towards Cobb and Ellison. So GPP guys, Tyreek, beast. I think they're gonna try to focus on Kelsey this week. So I think, but Hill can definitely be the number one wide receiver again this week. Diggs, as I mentioned, is a boomer bust guy, and the Packers secondary can't contain him. Josh Gordon, I like this week. I need him to stay healthy, and he needs to get a little more looks from Tyrod, but potential to break out this week, even if Lattimore's chasing him. Juju has a little bit of a tougher matchup this week with Fuller in the slot corner, but I think he still does okay, but he's more of a flex, or sorry, a GPP than a cash. Fitz, I think, is a great comeback wide receiver for a Goff stack, because I expect him to get blown out, but you're not touching Fitz. He's huge and a monster in that slot. Godwin, especially if Djax is out, I like him. The Eagles secondary is more challenging than the Saints is, but I still like Godwin. He could be the number one threat on this team very soon over Evans. Fuller, if he's back and he's healthy, the hamstrings scare me. He could be very good this week. A nice stack with Watson. Golden Tate is probably my favorite wide receiver in matchup wise in San Francisco this week. Golladay is also a nice play. Garcon, a little bit tough matchup, but Goodwin's out. Kittle is the play, but Garcon will be another option. And Pettis is a nice play at 4K in light of the Goodwin being out. Brandin Cooks, another go wide receiver. He could have a monster game here. If he sneaks out, last week he drew several penalties that could have been catches if they weren't penalties, probably. Robert Woods, a little bit more of the same. He has a good matchup. Sterling Shepard, sounds like his back injury is minor, and he will be good to go. He has the best matchup out of any wide receiver there. Corey Davis, I'm definitely concerned about his hamstring injury. I have no idea who's throwing him the ball, but the talent is there as long as he stays healthy with the hamstring roll. He's just a ridiculous talent, but he needs to stay healthy, and he needs a quarterback to throw him the ball. Tyler Lockett on Monday night, I think he tries to pick up for Baldwin. He's really the only guy I'm considering starting on Seattle. I'm sitting a Wilson in all my leagues, maybe a GPP, but that's it. Funchess, bunches of Funchess has the potential to be a nice, really nice play this week as the number one go wide receiver for Cam. Ted Ginn plays much better at home. He will be the second option for receiving, third really, behind Thomas. Dorsett caught all of his passes last week. Brady trusts him. I think they're going to try to avoid Bouye and Ramsey, and Dorsett may find his way in a Patriots win. Rishard Matthews may find himself on one or two teams only because he's cheap and he's reliable, but I don't know about the quarterback play. Pettis, I talked about. Mike Wallace has a nice script here, even though he should have a better script last week. I think he's going to have a decent game. Geronimo Allison had a beautiful catch from Rodgers. I think Rodgers finds them again this week. And because of the tough matchup with Adams, I think Allison is a nice play. Ryan Grant, revenge game, and he's the number 2 wide receiver in that offense, and that Luck throws a lot. Obviously had the most passes last week. Mike Williams and Tyrell Williams for the Chargers. I like Mike more than Tyrell, but Tyrell is still there. Both are obviously second fiddle to Allen. I don't think they'll need to throw 30, 40, 50 times just because it's the Bills. And then Cortland Sutton is potentially a breakout this week. Keenan looked for last week. They have a very good matchup this week in Oakland versus Oakland. So nice cheap play if you're looking for someone to throw in at the end of the lineup. So that's all I have for wide receivers. Good luck this week. Stay cashing, as they say at Fantasy Guru Elite. And let me know if you have any questions or anything. Tag me in the post in the comments so that it pops up on my phone. If you don't put the comments, and I won't see it. check out my other videos and all my injury stuff. If you have any questions, send me a tweet at Dr. Jesse Morse or my website. And also check out the Fantasy Doctors and Fantasy Dose Analytics. Very cool stuff. Take care, guys.